Hi everyone. Today's lesson is going to be about words starting with DEL. I have prepared a complete list of words that start with DEL in the following for you together with their definitions and examples. The words are arranged in alphabetical order. First word, del. Abbreviation for delete. A key on computer keyboard that you press to remove data. For example, press del to delete the selected data. Delamination. Separation into constituent layers. National Geographic reports that the design of astronauts' spacesuit gloves can lead to hand and finger injuries, including an icky condition called fingernail delamination, in which the nail completely detaches from the nail bed. Delay. To make something happen at a later time than originally planned or expected. I think we should delay deciding about this until next year. Delayed. Happening at a later time than expected or intended. Officials said that the reason for the large number of delayed flights was the bad weather conditions. Delayed sleep phase pattern. A situation in which someone falls asleep and wakes later than most people. Delayed sleep phase pattern can cause problems with the schooling and work. Delayer. To reduce the number of different levels of staff in a company or organization. In his letter to shareholders, he said he plans to delay your management in order to speed decision making. Del credere agent. A person or company that receives commission for selling goods or services for another person or company, and that agrees to pay for the goods even if no money is received from the buyer. Upon default of payment, he himself must pay for the goods, and for this additional service, the del credere agent receives a higher commission than an ordinary sales agent. Delectable. Looking or tasting extremely good, and giving great pleasure. We had a delectable cheesecake. Delectably. In a way that looks or tastes extremely good and gives great pleasure. The house sits delectably on a river bank with views to a pretty little bridge. Delectation. Great pleasure and enjoyment. We want the whole land of the country to be used economically, not to be kept for the delectation of exceptionally rich persons. Delegate. A person chosen or elected by a group to speak, vote, etc. for them, especially at a meeting. Each union elects several delegates to the annual conference. Delegated legislation. In the UK, laws, rules, etc., made by a person or group other than Parliament that has been given special powers to do this by Parliament. Delegated legislation allows the government to make changes to a law without needing to push through a completely new act of Parliament. Delegation. A group of delegates. After exchanging pleasantries, the delegation revealed the purpose of their visit. Delegator. Someone who delegates part of their job, duties, etc. to someone else to do for them. His chief of staff's most important skills are as a delegator and disciplinarian. Delegitimize. To make something seem not valid or not acceptable. If he does not take part in the election, it would delegitimize the entire electoral process. Delete. To remove or draw a line through something, especially a written word or words. They have deleted a clause in the contract which says the company can make people redundant for economic reasons. Deleterious. Harmful. These drugs have a proven deleterious effects on the nervous system. Deli belly. Slight stomach illness while traveling, caused by eating things that you do not usually eat or something that is not safe to eat. The beach resort has to improve the water quality so that guests stop getting deli belly. Deli. Informal for delicatessen, a small shop that sells high quality foods such as types of cheese and cold cooked meat, often from other countries, and, especially in the United States, sandwiches made using these foods. Have you tried that Greek deli on Church Street? Deliberate. First meaning, adjective, often of something bad, intentional or planned. We made a deliberate decision to live apart for a while. Second meaning, adjective. A deliberate movement, action, or thought is done carefully without hurrying. From her slow, deliberate speech, I guess she must be drunk. Third meaning, verb. To think or talk seriously and carefully about something. The jury took 5 days to deliberate on the case. Deliberately. First meaning, intentionally. I'm sure he says these things deliberately to annoy me. Second meaning, slowly and carefully. Calmly and deliberately, she cut up his suits one by one. Deliberative, involving careful thought and discussion when making decisions. He refers to a traditional deliberative process in which tribal elders meet to work out problems and disputes. Delicacy, something especially rare or expensive that is good to eat. In some parts of the world, sheep's eyes are considered a great delicacy. Delicate, needing careful treatment, especially because easily damaged. Delicate plants need to be kept in a greenhouse during the winter. Delicately, carefully, in order to avoid causing physical damage. Some goods need to be handled delicately. Delicates, clothing that needs to be washed very carefully because it is easily damaged. For example, underwear made of thin material. Turn the dress inside out and put it in the washing machine on the delicates cycle. Delicatessen, a small shop that sells high quality foods such as types of cheese and cold cooked meat, often from other countries, and, especially in the United States, sandwiches made using these foods. Smoked sausage can be found in most delicatessens. Delicious, having a very pleasant taste or smell. The delicious smell of freshly made coffee came from the kitchen. Deliciously, first meaning, with a very pleasant taste or smell. She made us a deliciously garlicky potato cake. Second meaning, very pleasantly. His teeth were like pearl, and his large full eyes were deliciously white. Deliciousness, the quality of having a very pleasant taste or smell. They praised the deliciousness of her food. Dale, a small valley, usually with trees. I suspect that there are some nice dales and fields on his estate where one could build a convenient cottage. Delight, something or someone that gives great pleasure, satisfaction, or happiness. My sister's little boy is a real delight. Delightful, very pleasant, attractive, or enjoyable. Thank you for a delightful evening. Deliver, first meaning, to take goods, letters, parcels, etc. to people's houses or places of work. Mail is delivered to our office twice a day. Second meaning, to give birth or to help give birth to a baby. She delivered her third child at home. Third meaning, to save someone from a painful or bad experience. Is there nothing that can be done to deliver these starving people from their suffering? Delmonico steak. Small steak, a thick, flat piece of meat from a cow that is cut from the back of the animal. The meat in a Delmonico steak is a bit tougher than cuts from the rib. Delocalize. Detach or remove from a particular place or location. There is continuing and growing pressure to delocalize production. Delouse. To remove lice, a type of very small insect, from the body, hair, or clothing of a person or the fur of an animal. All new workers were deloused and examined for infectious diseases before being admitted. Delphi, an ancient Greek sanctuary, a holy place, on Mount Parnassus, where an oracle, a female priest, was believed to be able to answer questions with advice from the god Apollo. The ancient Greeks considered the center of the world to be at the temple in Delphi. Delphi technique, a method of collecting opinions about the future and judging how likely a future event or situation is. Experts answer lists of questions without discussing them with each other, look at each other's answers, and change them until a consensus is reached. The Delphi technique is a structured approach for reaching a consensus judgment among experts about future developments in any area that might affect a business. Delphic, First meaning, relating to the ancient Greek sanctuary at Delphi, or the oracle who gave advice there. Croesus, king of Lydia, asked the Delphic oracle if he should attack Persia. Second meaning, mysterious and without a single, clear, definite meaning. The media rushed to try and decipher his Delphic remarks. Delphinium, a tall garden plant with blue flowers. Historically, this garden was planted with spring blooming perennials such as delphiniums and poppies. Delta, an area of low, flat land, sometimes shaped like a triangle, where a river divides into several smaller rivers before flowing into the sea. With the melting of the glacier, streams carry sediment to glacial lakes, building came deltas on top of the sea. Delta shares, used in the past to describe shares in small companies that are not often traded. The company's delta shares were very little. Deltoid. First meaning, a muscle in the shoulder shaped like a triangle and used for lifting the arm. Always stretch your deltoids after lifting weights. Second meaning, shaped like a triangle. This is a deltoid ligament. Delude. To make someone believe something that is not true. He is deluding himself if he thinks he's going to get that promotion. Deluded. Believing things that are not real or true. Poor deluded girl. She thinks he's going to marry her. Deluge. A very large amount of rain or water. This little stream can become a deluge when it rains heavily. A deluge of something. A lot of something. The newspaper received a deluge of complaints, or a deluge of letters, or a deluge of phone calls about the article. Delusion. Belief in something that is not true. He is under the delusion that he will be promoted this year. Delusional. Believing things that are not true. Delusional thinking is common in schizophrenia. Delusions of grandeur. The belief that you are more important or powerful than you really are. I believe that too many people have delusions of grandeur about our military rule abroad. Delusive. False. I harbored the delusive hope that he would return my love. Delusively. In a way that shows that you believe something that is not true. They delusively imagine themselves to be free. Deluxe. Very comfortable and of very high quality. That was not an appropriate range of facilities for a hotel that the tour operator said was a 5-star deluxe establishment. Delve. To search, especially as if by digging, in order to find a thing or information. She delved into her pocket to find some change. Delve into something. To examine something carefully in order to discover more information about someone or something. It's not always a good idea to delve too deeply into someone's past